On July 10th, 2020, Dim Railroad Films 24 and I made a day trip to upstate New York to Railfan CSX's line going west from Selkirk. We spent the whole day moving around, beginning as far east as Selkirk Yard and as far west as Fonda. The furthest east that we took videos was at Game Farm Road in New Scotland, New York. Here's the first train of the day, Q364, finishing its journey to Selkirk. 364 had a lash-up consisting of a brand new AC44CM, classified as a CM44AC by CSX, and a yard slug mother, which you rarely see away from its slug mate. This unit is going into storage due to derailment damage, although no damage was visible. Q364 is a daily manifest from Avon, Indiana near Indianapolis to Selkirk, the largest yard in the region, where traffic is sorted to go anywhere from Boston to New York to Philadelphia, or in some cases even as far south as Florida. After 364, we started heading west towards Fonda, where our friend Coastline Rail Productions was. En route, we got word that there was an eastbound and a westbound, both coming with YN2 leaders, which are becoming increasingly rare as CSX retires and rebuilds them. Here's Q157 with a YN2 AC44 leader near Schenectady Yard, which is in Rotterdam, not Schenectady. Q157 is a daily stacked train from Philadelphia to Buffalo, but today it had a cut of empty auto racks, which at this point is becoming pretty common with PSR. Nowadays, railroads are trying to increase their profit margins by running trains with more cars and fewer engines. 20 minutes later, Q626 showed up with a duo of YN2 AC44s, which is definitely not something you see so often these days. Q626 is a mixed freight from Frontier Yard in Buffalo. All traffic on this train is bound for various northeastern places, but for now it's just going to Selkirk where it will be sorted. Finally, with those trains out of the way, we made our way out to Fonda, where we've just barely caught 48 with the Phase 3 Heritage Unit number 145. We arrived about 2 minutes before it passed. Now at this point, we're off the Selkirk sub and on the Mohawk sub. The Selkirk sub is from Selkirk to Hoffman's, and the Mohawk sub is the line from Hoffman's to Syracuse. "40 minutes later, Amtrak 281, the first westbound Empire service of the day, came by with the Phase 3 P32. The state of New York funded this project, in which all P32s were rebuilt and repainted. Notice the Empire service logo on the side of the engine. 2 Phase 3 Amtrak engines in under an hour. Certainly not something you see back in Massachusetts. Next up was Q003, the highest priority freight train on the entire CSX system. Q003 is the main east-to-west intermodal running from South Kearny, New Jersey near New York to Bedford Park, Illinois near Chicago. 003 carries lots of high-priority mail traffic from UPS with piggyback truck trailers and those white unmarked containers, and also prime containers. Another common sight in this train is the track geometry boxcar riding next to the mid-train DPU. Although common on high-priority intermodals such as this one, it was a decent catch for me because I've never seen one of these cars before, and there are only 3 of these cars on CSX's roster. Around 2:30, we decided to start making our way back east because a storm was coming. On our way east, we stopped in Amsterdam to see Q627 with the rainbow lash-up. 627 had a CSX Gevo leading a CSX GP40-3 and a BNSF Ace and UP Gevo duo that came in a few days prior on welded rail train K550 bound for the Long Island Railroad. Q627 is daily mixed freight traffic for Buffalo. We continued east to Stone Road in Guilderland on the Selkirk sub and saw Q634, a daily manifest from Columbus, Ohio to Selkirk, New York. The tracks at Stone Road are far enough apart that you can safely stand between them, and also of note is that for whatever reason, this crossing doesn't have a bell. Pretty sure that isn't up to some FRA crossing standards, but trains go pretty slow through here, so whatever. Q634's eastbound manifest/trash empties from Columbus, Ohio, but today it had a long cut of loaded petroleum cars bound for New Hampshire. A few minutes later it started raining, so we headed a mile east of Voorheesville, where there's a park by the tracks with a roof overhead to shield us from the rain. This is Q561 heading west. .561 is a westbound mixed freight bound for Cincinnati. The final train we saw was Q004, the eastbound counterpart to Q003, high priority intermodal traffic bound for New Jersey. After 004, we decided to go home because there was a tropical storm coming and we were all wet. Luckily, none of our camera gear was damaged thanks to the roof over our heads at the Railfan Park in Voorheesville.
Kudasai.